Let's spend some time talking about crafting positioning statements and some of the technical issues associated with that. Of course, recall that your position refers to consumers' perception of your brand relative to the competition, what customers think of when your brand name is mentioned, and why customers buy your product. The basic positioning concept then tries to answer the question, why will people or why should people buy our product? Positioning a brand then is really all about making a memorable appeal to a given audience about the purchase of our brand. This is done by identifying the unique point of difference and communicating that difference through an offer and an IMC campaign that resonates with the audience. The act of positioning includes all the activities performed to establish consumers' perception of the brand, what customers think of when your brand name is mentioned, and why customers buy your product. So, a positioning statement refers to a very brief description, 1 or 2 sentences maximum, of a product or service and an explanation of how it fulfills a particular need for a target market. The goal of the positioning statement is to align marketing efforts with the company's brand and value proposition. So there's 2 aspects of this. One is make sure that we have a description of how the product fulfills a particular need for the target market, and to make sure then that it explains things clearly enough so that we can align all of our marketing efforts with that company's brand and value proposition. And then as a result, a positioning statement is an internal tool. That is, it is designed to be used internally in the organization to help marketers explain to the rest of the organization what makes their product different in a way that creates value for customers, so that all of the people in the organization understand what we're trying to accomplish with our particular brand. So how are positioning statements different from mission statements? Well, a mission statement is all about the purpose your business serves in the market. It's an inherent part of every organization that guides every business function. All right. But a mission statement is public facing, and it really can be used both internally and externally, but it is something that we try to present to our potential customers and make it available to them. Positioning statements are more internal facing, and the focus on the positioning statement is our internal audience of employees. Your business positioning statement summarizes the value that your brand's products and services bring to the target market. Well, how about the difference between a value proposition and a positioning statement? Well, the value proposition is an important aspect in the positioning statement, and they're both key elements in a business's marketing strategy. A value proposition describes what sets your product or service apart from the competition. It gives an overview of the benefits a product or service offers, while the positioning statement is broader and is created after you've developed your business's value proposition. So the value proposition is used as input into the positioning statement. How about a slogan versus the positioning statement? Well, the positioning statement is an internal assertion intended for employees, while the slogan is an external phrase designed to capture the attention of customers in a simple and clever form that resonates in terms of our position. The core elements of a strategic marketing position: the target market, market category, value proposition, unique selling proposition, the brand promise, and the brand identity and values. Let's quickly go through each of these. The target audience, of course, your target audience is the group of consumers you're targeting with your product or service. It could be current customers, it could be the customer type that your current business is attracting, or for a brand new brand or product, it could be the target audience that you are intending to pursue. The value proposition, well, this is what makes your product different from the competition and adds value to the customer. Tell the story of how your product improves the customer's life. We always like to say, think about it as a before and after. When you know the unique value you bring, it's much easier to craft a statement that speaks directly to your target audience and describes how your product and service is the best solution or choice for their pain points or for your customer base. How about the unique selling proposition? Well, we've always heard that. The USP, also sometimes referred to as the point of difference that creates value or the reason to buy. All right, the unique selling proposition is a short statement that explains why a customer's product or service is better than its competitors and should be chosen by the customers. It is the linchpin to developing a positioning statement. The market category, well, the market category defines a specific submarket that the product competes in. The market categories could be as broad as grocery stores or as niche as, a vegetarian health food store. The more specific the product market category is, the easier it is to identify your unique selling proposition or your value proposition. So we might not say, so if we're talking about McDonald's, it's not really in the restaurant business, and it's not just in the quick serve restaurant business, but it is really in the hamburger quick serve business. Brand promise. Your brand promise is ultimately what the target audience or buyer stands to gain from using your product or service. It's what you tell people you're going to produce. When they buy your product, here's what you're going to get. It's what success looks like to them if, in fact, our product will satisfy their wants and needs. The brand identity, well, the brand identity is what the brand stands for. It's what customers think of when your brand name is mentioned. And of course, that is one of the elements of positioning. Brand identity is the one aspect of strategic marketing that will set you apart from the competitors and help you gain recognition with your target audience. It is all the things that a customer thinks about when your brand name is mentioned. And then values, well, values are what matters to the companies. They guide how your business makes decisions within the context of your brand. From a positioning perspective, values refer to what is different about our product that creates value and the organization's commitment to make sure that we deliver that value. All right, a couple of little key tips on how to write a positioning statement. Keep it brief, make the statement unique and memorable, remain true to your business's core values, include what the brand delivers to consumers, differentiate your business from the competition, keep it simple, and consult a colleague. First, making it brief. And so I think this slide is sort of funny because it's not brief. One of the key ideas in positioning is that your customers' employees are bombarded with information. To break through all this clutter, you need to keep the positioning statement short. A brief positioning statement is much more likely to be read by and remembered than a longer one. Your brand's positioning statement should be concise and to the point. The wordier your statement gets, the less factual it becomes. Keep out the fluff and the unnecessary details. Focus on the unique selling proposition and how it creates value for your customers and how it differentiates you from the competition. Factual. Just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. It's critical that you be able to provide factual evidence of the differences between your brand and the competition. Not opinions or hyperbole or that sort of nonsense, all right? For example, KFC tastes better because they use a proprietary recipe of 11 herbs and spices. So we're providing some sort of factual evidence for why we are different and how that difference creates our brand's unique value. Make sure that once you get the positioning statement done, that you make it ubiquitous and pervasive throughout the organization. The positioning statement is critical to align all marketing efforts. To make that happen, the statement needs to be prevalent everywhere employees might see it or hear it. Make it unique and memorable. The statement should also be unique to your company and something that no other company that's in that product category can say. And so it ought to be unique to the company and explain the way you are different from the competition. When crafting your positioning statement, emphasize the distinctive qualities of your brand. The bottom line, your positioning needs to show how you are unique in a memorable way. Remain true to your business's core values. And this is that old story of don't try to kid a kidder. Don't try to be something that you're not. The positioning statement isn't time for you to get fancy and pitch a new view of your business. Your positioning statement needs to accurately reflect the product's unique selling proposition, but also the abilities of your organization to deliver on that promise. Make sure to include what the brand delivers to consumers. Your brand offering is the vital part of your positioning statement. It's the main reason that customers are seeking you out. So, what is it that your company provides that makes you different and adds value to the customers? How does your company deliver that product? Once again, the positioning statement then needs to be succinctly state who your customer is and how you will help them in your positioning statement. You want to make sure that you differentiate your product from the competition, and we're going through this again and again when we get ready to build our positioning statement. The positioning statement should articulate what differentiates our brand from the competition. Focus on the company's point of difference and how it adds value to your customers. Once again, if you're not sure how to separate your product from the competition's, then you do not have a clear, unique selling proposition, and you're going to find it difficult then to create a positioning statement. So you need to go all the way back to the beginning. Keep it simple. The more complicated your statement becomes, the less convincing and engaging it will be. And focus on the brand promise. Include a credible promise of what unique value your brand delivers to the consumers. Make sure that you understand your brand promise. And then communicate how your business is different from the competition. Once again, keep it clear enough for use as a guideline to evaluate whether or not your business decisions align with the brand. The statement needs to explain the reason to buy in one sentence. And the idea then is to create a positioning statement that helps the organization make decisions to support that position. And that when they have to make a decision, they evaluate it in terms of that position. That keeps everything aligned in the organization. In summary, crafting positioning statement and executing a positioning strategy takes skill and practice. It's not as easy as it might look, and it takes knowledge, but also practice to get good at crafting positioning statements.